The second step in our program of recovery came to believe that our power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, principle being hope. So, if we again pick up our big book and look at page 52, second chapter, we look at exactly the same areas that we did in step 1. Only now we're looking at what we can be, what we can become. In all the examples, how can we become a better father? How can we become a better employer? Better parent? Always good thing. So we use exactly the same method in all 9 areas with the 7 to 9 relationship, and write a vision of how we can be in this area. All the different areas. What would it be like if we weren't full of fear? What would it be like if we could handle emotions in a more constructive way? What would it be like if we could make a living in a way that was joyful, will work for us? How could we be the best dad we could be? Fearless living. So I would encourage you to really push this one out. You know, this is where we talked a little bit about our belief systems and how we could push this out. You know, what's the vision? You need to push it right out to the edge here, because what you're writing here will start to be realised when you're up in step 12. There's two types of motivation really, and that's the fear motivation and vision motivation. If you've done your step 1 properly, there'll probably be a bit of fear hanging about, and that can motivate you, but the most powerful vision in the world is vision motivation. What you can be come from your heart. Yeah, what's the best person I can be? What could I be in all these 9 areas? Not what you'll have. It's a mistake often when people get hold of this kind of material, that they can turn it into what you'll have. Well, it's not about what you'll have, it's about what you can become. The same, we go up in the helicopter, we look down like a bird, an eagle, we could over the 9 areas. Push those possibilities right out, so they make you flinch and a little bit more. I was asked in the middle of this process what's my favourite step. I think this is my favourite step because you've got time to really go with your heart here, which is the vision motivation. Fear motivation will take you to a certain stage, but hope motivation will take you, and vision motivation will take you a lot further. So encouragement here is to really push it out. The Indians say, Native Americans say, that we've all got to come here to do a task, a job, and if we don't achieve that while we're here, our spirit will die restless. We don't want that, do we? So, yeah, so it's relatively simple, including we'll start in the next step, in the 3rd step, vision and how we have the relationship with our higher power. 2 types of motivations. Second one, push it out. What can I become? in all these areas, and all the relationships. You've spread it out in step 1 the same, and 7, 9 different relationships. How can you be, as we're well aware of, you can't really change anyone else, but you can change yourself, and then often they'll change. So that's the work of step 2. Principle being hope. I'll remind you again, the greatest learning takes place when we change the point of view. People can have some real breakthroughs with this. When I've worked with people who have said to me sometimes the stuff they've wrote in step 2 has given them motivation to finish the steps. So what you're writing down here is what's going to happen in step 12.